Hi, I'm Namita and welcome to Yoganama. In today's session, we are going to work on a flow that will help you reset and unwind and release any tension or stiffness from the neck and shoulders. So let's get started. We will begin in a modified cat-cow variation. So come join me on your mat. Come down on your elbows. So the elbows are directly below the shoulders and knees are directly below the hips. So similar to tabletop, just that you are lower with your elbows towards the floor. Let's move into cat-cow here. On an inhale, you look up. And on an exhale, bring the chin to chest, trying to round the spine without letting the elbows separate. So keep them below the shoulders and try to maintain the distance between them as you go through this movement. We will do a couple more here. Exhaling, taking the chin to chest. Inhaling and looking up. Exhale, coordinating the movement with your breath. And one more time. Exhale. Inhale. And from here, what we are going to do now is take one hand back towards the head. On an exhale, I'm going to get both elbows to touch. On an inhale, I'll try to get one elbow to face up towards the sky. So opening up the shoulder and the upper back, you can join me now. Inhale, lift. Exhale, elbows to touch. Inhale, up. Trying to find the maximum range of motion that you can as you go through this movement. Let's do two more. Inhale, up. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, up. And exhale, back. And return. Let's do this on the other side. Taking the left hand back now. Elbows to touch. Left elbow goes up and back. Inhale, up. And exhale. Inhale, reaching up. The maximum that's comfortable today. Let's do two more. Inhale and back. One more. Inhale and back. And return. Come back to this position here. From here, simply sit back onto your heels and come into Vajrasan. If this is difficult, you can come into Sukhasan with your legs crossed, or you can be sitting on a chair. From here, let's add some arm movement and neck stretches. So we are going to inhale, take my right hand up, and exhale, bring the right hand down, little bit away from the body, not fully close to the body, and simultaneously take my left ear to left shoulder. So a nice stretch on the entire side of the neck on the right side, and release. Let's do this 5 times starting now. Inhale, up. Exhale, move the neck away from the hand, fingers pointing away from you. Inhale, up, and exhale, slowly release. Inhale and exhale for 3. This tends to release a lot of stiffness that tends to develop here. And we will do a few more variations which will help you get into some different areas as well. So exhale for 4. One more to go after this. It's always good to take a little moment of rest when you come to your maximum stretch right here. And then release. Let's do this on the other side 5 times. Inhale, up, and exhale to the side. Inhale. Exhale, maintain your position, that's your maximum, for a couple of moments before switching. Inhale and exhale for 3. Inhale, exhale for 4. Last one here. Inhale and exhale for 5. And release, taking both the hands behind the head, little above the neck now. On an exhale, bring the chin to chest very gently, trying to get the elbows to touch. As you exhale, then on an inhale, open the elbows out, open the chest up to the sky, letting your neck or your head rest in the basket that you made with your hands. Again, exhale very gently, chin to chest, rounding the spine a little bit. And then on an inhale, looking up, taking a good deep breath into your lungs. And then exhale, let's come back. Almost like you want to bring the elbows all the way down to your legs without forcing it. And then on an inhale, reversing the movement. We will do 2 more of these, trying to go a little deeper every time you come back to this. So exhale, rounding nicely. Inhale, reaching back up. One more time, exhale. And then inhale, open up. Holding it there. And then exhale to return back to neutral. Let's move on to shoulder flossing. So grab hold of your belt or a stole or whichever prop you've chosen to keep with you today. Hold on to your belt about wider than shoulder distance. You will figure out how wide you need to hold for yourself today. Keeping the belt tight, on an inhale, we will take it all the way back. Very gently, don't pull your shoulder. And then on an exhale, we will bring it back. If the shoulders are really tight, maybe you will need to hold on a little wider like this, and maybe you will lose that slack in the belt as you go back. That's fine. The intention is to reduce the distance and to keep the belt active throughout, but don't force it. Let it unfold gradually. Join me now. We will do 9 of these. So on an inhale, back, exhale, forward, inhale, back for 2, and exhale for 3. It's a great way to open the shoulders, but just be mindful to do as per your capacity today. For 4. We got 5 more to go. 5 now. And return. Inhale for 6. Exhale back. Don't forget to breathe as we do this. 7. And return. Almost there. 8. And return. Last one, 9. And return. And now just hold the breath somewhat shoulder width apart. Take it all the way back as if you want to take the shoulders behind the ears, and I'm going to show it to you from the side because it will be better that way. Take the belt behind the ears and hold it here, just pulsing your hands back slightly. As I do this, notice I'm not moving my chest, so I'm not doing this. I'm going to keep the spine neutral, and I'm going to try to do this movement in a way that I feel the maximum stretch around the shoulders, in front of the armpits, but not in the back. So let's do this 10 times now. Very gently, carefully. 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly release. Keeping the belt with you, come into a lying down position on your mat. Coming on your belly in a prone position, keeping the belt ahead of you, holding on to the belt with your hands. Again, we will lift the hands up similar to what we were doing earlier and maintain this position here, trying to lift up higher, but keeping the rest of the body on the ground. Let's hold up here, constantly pulling the belt apart while simultaneously lifting the back of the hands up to the sky for 5 more. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Now change the grip. This time the back of the hand is facing towards the floor and my fingers or my nails are facing up. So I'm gripping the belt with the palms facing up essentially. Doing the same thing with this position, lift up higher. Whenever you feel you've hit your maximum, go up just a little more. Continue to breathe. And let's be here for 5, 4, 3,
1, and slowly release. Take a breath or two here. These are intense, especially if the shoulders are tight, so take your time with them. This time we are going to try and lift our head off the floor as well as we come off the floor. So, bring the backs of the feet to the ground, press firmly, pull the core in, pull the navel in, and lift the hands up and also your head up off the floor. And let's be here for 5, 4, 3, keep pulling the belt apart, 2, and 1, and slowly come down. Excellent work. Keep the belt to the side and push yourself back up to come into extended child pose, which is walking the hands forward, keeping the hips above the knees, bringing the forehead to the ground, and taking a breath here. Again, try not to sink the chest towards the ground just yet. Remember, the intention of this class is to work on the neck and shoulders. So we are trying to modify the movements and postures in a way that we can engage these specific joints more than some of the other surrounding joints. So maintain this posture with the forehead on the floor, continuing to walk your hands forward without shifting the hips forward, and take another breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. And then slowly walk yourself back up to come back to sit in Vajrasana. From here, let's now do some neck stretches or the traditional neck rotations that are very common in yoga practice. Let's get into them. First, we are going to simply look down and look up. Let's do that a couple of times. Do these with awareness. They are simple and they are effective. But if done carelessly, you can easily get a catch in your neck. So don't think about work, don't think about anything else, think about just the movement, your awareness entirely with the body, and return to neutral. Now, taking one ear to shoulder, we did this in the beginning, so should be a little more accessible maybe, and then the other side. Let's continue like this, moving slowly. You can even try coordinating the movement with your breath. So on an inhale, you come to neutral, and on an exhale, you deepen the stretch. Inhale back up, and exhale to the other side. Coming back to neutral, let's look side to side, a little bit of rotation now. So you exhale, look over the right shoulder. Back to neutral as you inhale and exhale, look to the left. Let's do this a couple more times, continuing at your own pace. You can make the pace slower than mine, but try not to go faster than me, because slow movements is what we are aiming for. So let's honor that intention and turn the other side. Let's finish with the next round. So exhale, turn to one side. Inhale back to center and turn to the other side. And back to center. From here, we move on to a nice stretch called the cow face pose. Now, I'm going to show it to you first in Vajrasana, and I'm going to show it to you from the side first so you understand what happens with the spine, because it's easier to understand what's being done with the shoulder. So on an inhale, take the hand all the way up, right hand for me, bend the hand at the elbow so that my right fingers are touching my back. Then I take the left hand behind and I try and get the fingers to touch. If comfortable, I come into a bind with my hands. As I do this, what I want to avoid is something like this happening, wherein I jut my chest or flare my ribs to facilitate this posture. So come back to that neutral spine preferably. If this is difficult, you can even use a belt and grab onto the belt to come into the posture. I will just show it to you and then we will begin the count. So let me just turn around. So if you have a belt, this is what you can do, pulling it in opposite directions to maintain integrity of the joint while still giving a good stretch to the muscles. So let's come into this position, whichever variation you have chosen, and hold that. This can be intense for the bottom hand or the left shoulder. If that's the challenge right now for you, simply do this variation wherein you pull the elbow back using your left hand. When doing this, just try not to bring the hand towards the head. Instead of this happening, work on doing this. All right, enough instructions. Let's hold for 3 more breaths. Inhale and exhale. And 2 more like that. Take your time with this. Every time you inhale, you will feel the chest expand. And that can create a little more intensity in the stretch, which is always good. So let's release, come to neutral. If you need to just shake out your hands, do that. And then let's repeat this on the other side. This time taking the left hand up and taking the right hand back. Finding that grip and holding on to it as long as possible for us. Or for 5 breaths, because we're in this class. Let's do that. Inhale and exhale. Couple more breaths like this. You can take this time to even close your eyes and start building that strong connection with the breath. It's a good way to transition the body and mind for pranayama practices, which I would highly recommend after this class as well. So take 2 more breaths here. Feel free to come into a variation if this has become too intense for you. That's totally fine. And 1 more breath. Inhale and exhale. And then slowly, with control, release the bind. Again, shake out the hands if you need to. Let's do a quick stretch wherein you face the palms up and then turn the palms in the other direction. So facing the palms up and back and then in the other direction. Just to reset, do a couple more of these. Release. Let's do a bit of shoulder roll, taking the shoulders back a couple of times. Giving yourself some nice good circles here and then reversing the direction, bring it forward. And 1 more time like this and release. And we are done with the practice. Feel free to carry on with the pranayama or meditation practice. It will be really good for you to complement this class. Otherwise, carry on with whatever you have planned for today and have a great practice. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining me today.